It is another episode of Say It Loud with me, Karen L. And today in the hot seat, we have Tyomi. Hi, Tyomi, who is
Hey.
a sexpert joining us on Say It Loud podcast. Tyomi and myself are both work with sleep libations, but Tyomi is like way more advanced than I am, and she's going to school us today on some of the things that we need to know, just about sexuality, and empowering ourselves, and then where to find lessons and learn things too, because like there's things that people never taught us. So, Tyomi, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself so they know who you are?
Well, as you know, my name is Tyomi, and I am the founder of Glamoerotica101.com. I started my blog site in 2011. It's undergoing some changes right now to kind of expand a little bit. But in tandem with my blog, I have a YouTube channel under the same name, Glamoerotica101.com. And my style of teaching has always been really just like laid back, chill, almost like your best friend or your sister. You know what I mean? Just making sure that people understand that things are can be simple. So bringing things in a way that is easily relatable and digestible for people and just easy to relate to. And I decided to focus on empowering women because at the time when I started my blog, like I was going through a lot of my own self exploration and my sexuality and going through a lot. So I was like, you know what? I know there's other women out there, especially other Black women that's going through what I'm going through and probably need some guidance. So I,
For sure.
just started looking around to see if there was anybody that looked like me that was in the space. And I was like, you know what? I don't really see anyone. And even hear any voices or hear about anybody that I feel like I could relate to.
Right.
So I just jumped in the space and started educating myself more, getting certifications and things like that, and just offering up my advice to the public through my blog site, through different platforms. I've had radio shows and podcasts and all types of things, but and also doing a lot of podcasts. I mean, I love having conversations with people on their platforms because my belief is we just have to normalize the conversation about sex. So
Right.
it's been a great journey in this and outside of being a sex blogger and a sex coach. I'm also a tantric practitioner, so I do work with people in using their sexual energy as a healing tool for themselves and cultivating deeper, more passionate sex lives,
Yes.
experiencing more pleasure. And I'm also a filmmaker, so I also create erotic films, but also films outside of the erotic space as well. So that's a new like part of my life that I'm developing now. It's just like really settling into that title and, just putting more ethical content out here for us to enjoy.
I think that's exciting. I think we're definitely going to talk about the filmmaking part because I got a lot going on with that and Safe Productions. But
Right.
I want to talk about break down for us what is a certified sexologist. Sexologist.
So a sexologist is someone who studies the science of sex, and there's all types of avenues you can go down as far as studying sexuality. My certification is in authentic tantra. So again, I work with the energy involving around sex, the energy of sex, and assisting people with using that energy to heal themselves and cultivate deeper relationships. So there's so many different people who are certified sexologists and their expertise is going to be a little different, but everybody basically has like a working knowledge of sex education, anatomy, safer sex, and all of the base things that people need to know, but
Right.
everybody can have like a specialty that they work in.
Right.
So one of my specialties aside from tantra is teaching people the mechanics of sex, like the how to.
Right. That's what people want to know.
Getting down to the action of it, you know what I'm saying? Like
That's what they
doing the
want to
thing.
know.
And I love to teach women how to ride dick. Like
Let's talk about it.
this is my baby. Okay.
Okay.
So On my YouTube channel, I show people how to get into different sex positions. I haven't put up anything as of late on YouTube because of all the crazy shifts that have been happening with terms of service and censorship and stuff. But anyway, on my channel there are several videos showing you how to get into different positions. All the positions where women are on top. I've had so many women reach out from around the world and say like, I don't know what I'm doing if I get up here.
Right.
So I started doing research and realized that there was like literally no literature or anything on how to ride dick. Okay, nothing before I made
No.
this video. I made this video in like 2013 or 14, teaching the basics, like breaking it down on how to ride. And this video has gone viral since. And there were a lot of women who learned from that video and a lot who were still just like, nope, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I created a workout and a method that helps women not only learn how to ride, but also build the confidence and the stamina to get up there and to take
Right.
control. And then also helping them reframe what this is. It's like most women say, I'm doing this to please him. And I'm like, I understand that that's, the goal is like you want to be satisfying to your partner, but this is really for you because this
Right.
position, you can get it how you want. You can hit all your spots. You can have multiple orgasms, and
Yeah.
you can finish him too. If that's what
Yeah.
you want, you
Finish
can finish
them.
him off. Okay, so I train dick assassins. You
Yes.
so
I
I
like that. She said I train dick assassins.
I
That's
do. Look,
amazing.
one of my clients today wrote me on Instagram and said, "This pussy is yanking," and I was like, "Yes, sis."
It is. Yes, it is.
Just
I
so
I feel my personal opinion is any woman can ride dick. I really do think any woman's
you just need
capable
the
of
right
riding dick.
training.
But I think a lot of women get stuck in their own head. I think they get stuck with their own hangups, right? And it's true. I'm not gonna lie. No one teaches you how to do it. You kind of got to figure it out on your own.
It's awkward as fuck
So
trying to do that too.
this is the opportunity where you have to say, well, you know what? Let me watch some videos. Let me tap into something. Let me take a class. Let me learn so I can feel more confident in what I'm doing. That's one. And two, I think that mentality of like I'm doing this for him has to change. Right. I don't think that we should be going into sex just thinking, well, I'm doing it for him. That's kind of like he doesn't want that. Most men don't want to feel like you're just doing it for me. Um, they want to know that you're there mentally, and we'll talk about the tantra later, but they want to know that you're physically and mentally into it and confident in what you're doing too. So I think that I think this is a good conversation where people need to reflect and say, okay, well, how can I be better? Where am I stuck? And then how can I be better? And what resources are there? I will say also, Tyomi, it's very hard to find those resources for women of color,
That's
right?
where Instagram comes in and platforms like this because we're out here. So when people say it's
Right,
very hard, I think it's a part of it has a lot to do with the censorship that we do experience on Instagram. We don't ever know if we're shadow banned or if our
right,
content is really showing up in searches or even in the explore feed. So, but if you go on Instagram or even YouTube or Facebook and you search the hashtag sexpert or sexologist, you can find a bunch of people like us. And, but there aren't any like sources, like full on sources where you can find like all Black sexperts, right?
right.
So there isn't really a sense of community, if that makes
Hmm.
any sense, like within
Right.
the sexologist, sexpert, sex educator space. So I feel like there does need to be like a source where
Yeah.
Black people can find other Black therapists and coaches so they can make it easier to do the work. Because we're here,
Right.
we're like, hey, y'all, we got
Yeah,
class.
no, and I know that there are a lot. I've been in classes where I was like, oh my God, look how many people are here. Like, there's a lot of people who
Mhm.
need that space and don't have that space, don't know where to begin, don't know how to start, and don't feel like they want to approach certain communities because they're like, they don't look like me, they don't feel like me, this is not my space. And so I think what you're doing is creating that lane and creating that space and telling women and men, because I do think men, they also go into sex knowing thinking they know everything, right? And or they think these classes are just for women, and it's like, no, you probably should consider watching it yourself because you need to learn from the other perspective of how to take care of your partner,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
I think that needs to be a thing. So if I wanted to have better sex, what is some advice that you would give
Take a class.
me? what
Because
are the top 3 classes I should take?
So I would say definitely communication and consent because if by now you don't see what's happening, like with this whole the whole me we're in the Me Too
Me
era, and
Too
I'm happy
movement.
because people are being held accountable for violating consent. So you need to know what getting consent looks like and what is considered to be consensual because that could literally make or break your life. And you
Yeah,
see like someone could wake up the next day and feel violated,
yeah,
you're
and that's
accused
it.
and now that's it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So think about everybody's safety. Consensual sex is always the best sex. So when both parties completely and mutually agree in a sober, coherent space, cool. And knowing that consent can be withdrawn at any time as well.
Right,
Knowing
right,
that, and then communication, knowing how to talk about the things that you need, the things that you desire and fantasize about. It's okay to talk about fantasies because they may not actually come true, but just being able to
right.
verbalize, like, what you're into and
What
what
you
you
want.
fantasize about is healthy. And then
Hmm.
also being able to communicate when you want to experience things differently. Great sex means that
Right.
everyone's having a good time and feeling good. So if there's something that doesn't feel good and you want to switch it up, then knowing how to communicate that where it maintains, especially in action, maintains the flow of sex without it like feeling awkward or, just shifting the energy. So definitely a class on consent and communication. I would say a mechanics class. So the how to's, there's a lot of different types of how to classes. You got your oral sex classes, you got your kink classes to learn things like spanking and choking. So people like, to be choked during sex. It's like, take a class on
Right,
choking or even kissing.
right,
Like
right.
that's a thing. And then the third class would be a tantra class. I think that more people need to study tantra because it's tapping into the spirit and it's slowing you down and it's helping you become a true master of your sexual energy, flexing it not just for pleasure, but to heal the trauma that your body has sustained. Like we all have experienced trauma in our lives
Hmm.
and our
Hmm.
body store it. So imagine being your own superhero and being able to use your sexual energy to heal yourself from the inside out.
I think you would need to touch on so I'm really big on tantra. I'm really big on tantra sex and meditation and energy and the universe and connecting that energy. I've actually done shows where I feel like there's people who have drained energy from you and have been in sexual relationships where they're getting drained. Tell people what tantra sex is because I don't think everybody knows about it. This is like some next level. Like you got to read books, you got to be like on the next level, and then you got to really know your body and your emotions and your space, but I don't think everybody knows what that is. Can you break that down for them?
So so you're going to hear people say tantric sex before you hear them say tantra because people focus on the sex part of it. So tantric sex is a tool that we use in tantra. And Tantra is weaving light and sound with form. Light being visualizations, sounds, mantras, form your body. So you're using meditations and visualizations to help channel and build up sexual energy to heal and clear out your energy body. And then you use tantric sex. So we use sex not only for pleasure, but as a way to cultivate that energy and move that energy and make it grow even bigger to facilitate more healing. So now your sex not only becomes more pleasurable, but it's actually a healing tool. So every time you're making love, you're literally healing yourself. So it becomes medicine instead of just something to fuck your energy off. And
Right,
so people will hear say, "Oh, I want to experience tantric sex," and I'm like, "That's great." And tantric sex is not tantra; it's the tool. Tantric sex is the tool used within tantric practice because you can practice tantra sexually and non-sexually.
right,
So you do have to be connected to yourself. And um, I always say, if you know how to breathe, then you can learn tantra. And it's also a practice that may not be for everyone. You know,
right,
it's work. It's work that's deeper than just like learning how to suck a dick or, use your mouth, whatever. it's working in your energy, in your spirit as well. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
as long as you're willing to learn new things and really just commit to it, it will change your life. I'm saying that it's not just as someone who teaches it, but as someone who practices it.
Yeah. I think like I don't know. I think that it makes your sex life better, and I think it makes you just overall a better, healthier person. That's my opinion. Because you're not just working on yourself outside of the bedroom, you're working on yourself all the time. And so you're taking that good, healthy, clean energy experience, whatever, and then you're taking that to where that next level and making it a physical thing. And I really feel like more people need to learn that. Because I don't know about you, Tommy, but some people don't. They got negative energy and they got blocked chakras and stuff, and then they're having sex with each other, and then they're like, they're just exchanging that negative energy with somebody, and
And
then
it's
they're like, oh,
unconscious. It's
yeah, it's
unconscious. And the only time it becomes conscious to them is when it really affects their health. So they have some type of like disease that's literally threatening their quality of life. It's like something going on,
mm-hmm,
and that can look like extreme amounts of stress, you know.
yeah,
So people are literally exchanging that energy unconsciously because they don't even know, they're not even aware that they're blocked or that they have trauma that's like stopping them from really being able to connect with other people. Like they don't know it.
yeah,
So you're right. And when you do practice tantra and you become a tantric being, because the goal of tantra is for it to become integrated into your everyday living. And when you practice tantra, the more you practice it, the more potent the medicine becomes in your body. And you're also not just practicing it for yourself. It's like when you practice tantra, you are doing it for all of existence.
right,
So it's
right,
it's not just a self motivated practice, it's an
yeah,
altruistic practice as well. So people should be more aware of just how energy is exchanged, period.
mm-hmm,
Because if you even think about it, just sitting on the phone with somebody,
yep,
your energy, like if you just really observe how you feel when you get off of a phone with someone, if
mm-hmm,
you feel drained, like you need a nap, that was a vampire on the phone. That was a
right.
person who literally was calling just to suck on your energy.
I say that all the time.
You can always tell when it's a person too because they'll lead with some emotional shit that you didn't ask to receive information for. They do an
Yeah,
emotional drive by, and you're like,
yeah.
oh Lord,
And they drop it on you, and it
they're just
becomes, and if you're an empath like me, you take that on, and then now it becomes a weight, right? It becomes a
yeah,
weight, and you're walking around with this weight emotionally that someone just dropped on you. And like I said, in relationships, I've seen people, before they met someone, they're healthy, they're working, their place is nice, they look good, they feel good, their job is good, and then they get into this relationship. And all of a sudden, you're looking at your friend and you're like, damn, what happened to him? Or damn, what happened to her? You know what I mean? They looking scruffy all the time, they're tired, there's bags under their eyes, the job's not going so good no more, life's not going so good, and you're like, oh my God, you're in this toxic situation. And you don't
mhm,
even know that you're in this toxic situation, and this energy that you have in your life, and I'm not saying they're a bad person, I'm saying it might not be a good energy for you, is taking a toll on you.
mhm.
And people transfer energy, and they definitely transfer it sexually, and I think we don't have enough conversation about that, or being healthy enough to be in a relationship with someone else in a sexual manner.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people use sex. It's not
Right.
always for their actual fulfillment and pleasure.
Hmm.
And I would even go so far to say that a lot of people don't even feel comfortable when they're having sex completely, like 100% held in that
Right.
situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's always some script running or there's something else going on that they may not know how to shut off. That takes
Right.
training, that takes practice to do. Because I mean, even me, I have scripts
Yeah.
and stuff that's like in my head when I'm
Yeah.
having sex, and I literally have to consciously do my tantra breathing, and I have to like really focus because so much stuff going on, or do
Yeah.
prep before, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
pe-
I used to have
people,
that experience, but now I don't do that anymore. Like now, since I started meditating, I started exercising and stuff like that. It's better for me because I've learned like not to be in my head in that space, but I have to teach myself and I have to tell myself like
it's
now's not the
practice.
time. Yeah, now
It's
that and
practice.
it takes a lot of discipline, right? To be like totally mentally and physically present in that moment. But I had to learn that, right? And then when I was able to learn that, Tyomi, that's when things got really good. That's when the floodgates open, the waterworks. I was like, damn, I didn't even know I could do that. Because that
Exactly.
was when your body and is at total ease to some extent. Um, and then that was able to give me my confidence. So I think that we need to do that work. We need to do the work. I feel like that's part of having better sex, not just taking lessons in the physical part, but like doing the work on yourself
It's
so
the
that you
practice.
yeah.
The only way, see, people think that Tantra is something, I keep going back to Tantra because, like, you got to practice. And it's with any of it, even the mechanic part of sex.
Hmm.
Even with riding dick, I'd be like, do you think that you can just watch a video and be like, oh, I know the moves, and then not practice them, and then you get on top and you know what you're doing?
Right.
No, you have to practice. This is why I have a workout that literally I work out with my clients 5 days out of the week. I'm like, we got to practice. The only way we're going to
Right.
stay on top of this, on top, is to
Right.
actually put in the work. So with anything, especially when you've shifted out of one way of thinking in your sex life to a completely different space. Because as you learn, that's going to happen. Then the practice is what's going to keep you in the new mindset because
Right.
you can easily fall back.
Yeah. So it's making new
You know
habits.
what I mean? Yep, creating new habits.
So what do your classes look like when you like work out with your clients? Like what does that look like?
Sexy. um, so it's a combination of hip isolations, twerk, strength training exercises just with body weight. So we don't use any assistant weight. We just use our body weight. Some of my clients like to use ankle weights. It's not a
Mhm.
requirement, but if you want to add it in, it's fine. And definitely a lot of stretching and a little bit of dance. So it's all about strength training, stamina building, and building flexibility. A lot, first of all, in sex, period, not just with like woman on top position, you know, these are all poses. Like these are all literally like yoga poses.
Right.
So if you're trying to do more than just lie on your back and have your feet flat with your knees up, you gotta know how to hold these stretches. So your muscles have to be developed, you know what I
Right.
mean? And so every exercise is gonna have a warm up. We're gonna have a strength training portion. We're gonna do the cowgirl moves, which are my patented moves that help women become more mobile. Because see, most women have stiff hips.
Right.
I tell ladies all the time, I'm like, it doesn't matter if you do CrossFit, high intensity training, yoga, Pilates, whatever. My workout's gonna bust your ass. Okay, because it's going to work out muscles that you didn't know were even there.
Right. It's going to concentrate on the ones that we need.
Exactly. And it's the ones that even if you're doing all these other workouts, it's not going to tell you how to do it. Like you don't really move your hips like that when you're doing all these other exercises.
I don't
You know,
move my hips like that to do anything else.
exactly. So my workout looks very sexy because we're doing a lot of like rolling our hips and moving them up and down and what my grandma would call gyrating, all
Mm-hmm.
that gyrating.
Yeah.
And just really falling into sensual movement and also in combination with breathing. Like if you can move your body repetitiously over and over again and in one move, and you can breathe deeply and slowly and relax into doing that move, you're going to build stamina. You
Mm.
might sweat, but you're going to build stamina. You breathe, take deep breaths, breathe into your body. Like, so what I teach women is body integrity too. It's like you're building a deeper relationship with your body and you're trusting it. You're trusting that if you move in this way, like if you literally have an able body that can move in the direction that I'm telling you to move, even if it's a micro movement, if you continue to practice it, it's going to get deeper and deeper.
Right.
And by telling your body, like, it's okay, let's move, and you trust it, the muscles and everything are going to start to support you over time. So I'm teaching my clients how to relax into these repetitious movements because when it's time for you to take over in stroking, when you're having sex. If you're having sex with a penis owner, whether it's a bought penis or a natural penis, like if you want to last on top, you gotta have stamina. Like,
Right, right. That's the
so
biggest complaint.
hell yeah. And so it's all about knowing how to control your breathing and leverage your weight to where you're literally just using your hips to stroke. And the movements don't have to be gigantic movements. It's literally a micro movement because you only want to come off the dick so far. Like you only
Right,
want to come off the dick a good, like, depending on how much dick it is. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, 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 right.
Okay,
You
all
know,
right. So let's
you
talk
don't want
about
to
it.
lose it.
Let's talk about it. All right. One of the questions I get in my class often is like, what if he has a micro penis? I'm like, okay, so micro penis is like this, like a thumb, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, there isn't much movement you can do on a micro penis, especially if you got
No,
a fat ass.
no.
If you have a fat ass and you're trying to ride a micro penis, it's basically going to be a bunch of you just like scooting.
Right.
Okay. Not even necessarily scooting, but you're not going to have to bring your ass off much.
Yeah, no, you can't. It's gonna fall out.
Exactly. So if you got like 5 inches average, you only need to come off of it a good inch.
Right,
Anything above that, it's up to you. But between 1 to 3 inches, usually you want to keep the rest of the dick. You want to keep at least 1 to 3 inches of dick in at all times.
this is good information. I'm gonna write that
You know,
down.
I'm just saying you got to keep some in, and it all
Right,
depends on the depth that you want to fill it. Like, of course, if you're going to go deep, you might be all the way down to the shaft,
right,
you know, uh, depending on your preference. But like, you have to know how to move your hips in a way where you can stroke different parts of your own vagina
right,
with the dick.
right. And please yourself.
Like, that's what it's about. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is your time to get it the way you want. Like,
I don't know.
so
I feel like this is your time on top to show out.
hell yeah.
And I
It's like,
feel
how
like,
do you want to be remembered?
yeah, how do you want to remember? You need to get up from there and be like, I did that. You know what I mean? And that this is your opportunity to do that. So I'm like, you gotta,
I
you
know
gotta,
I I know I've done that when he encouraging me to get the dick. When he's encouraging me to get my nut and he's just like, get that shit. Hell yeah. I know
yeah,
I am riding the shit out of his dick and I am so pleased because I'm creamy. Like that's
right, right. The idea is that you're proud of yourself. Like he's
I
proud
am
of you,
proud of
but you're proud of
myself.
yourself. He's proud of you too. And I think
He
that,
giving me that positive affirmation. Like I need
yes,
that.
yes,
That's like a love language.
affirmation, whatever it is that you need to be like, go ahead, girl, get it. That's what you need to be focusing on. And I think that uh I don't know for the ladies that are listening, for the men that are listening, I think watching a video and taking a class might be helpful. I really do. It's better to take a class and be like, I knew that, than to not take it and not give yourself the opportunity to learn something new. That's what I
And
think.
also it's like, even if you knew something, new perspective can help you approach it in a different way
Hmm.
because it's like, yeah, sure, you do know how to kiss, and you wouldn't be taking a kissing class if you didn't think that there was something that you could learn.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So as long as people are open to trying new things and seeing things from different perspectives, that's what it's all about. That's how you're going to improve your sex life, just by being open. Because even me as an educator, like I love taking my fellow educators classes because I'm like, oh, I just learned something new and it's
Right.
enriching. So always be a
Yeah.
student. Always be a student.
Yeah. I
Keep
think
it.
that's what I was gonna say next, because that was one of my questions, like how couples can have better sex after kids. That was one of my questions that I have for you, because I feel like I get a lot of women that have the women that are dating seem to be okay and want to take classes and want to learn stuff because it's new and maybe it's fresh. But I do think a lot of people need to be like, okay, well, we've been together for 10 years and we got 2 kids. We might need to spice things up a little bit. We might need to shift things in the bedroom a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. And I think that this might be a way to do that.
Yeah, there are already a lot of couples taking advantage of sex education classes and having coaches and stuff. I know I get a lot of couples that come my way as well. But even being single, being abstinent, being a virgin, look, you need a sex education, and there's literally things that you can learn at your level, at your experience level, because you want to be prepared for whenever
Right.
you decide to enter any sexual activity, whether it's with yourself or with a partner. You know what I mean? Um, but more couples do need to take advantage of sex coaching and classes and retreats because if sex is important to you, it's definitely going to give you tools to be able to navigate your sex life as you get older, as things shift and change. And when you have children, you have to create a schedule. Okay, there are moments and windows where you can have spontaneous sex. Okay, I'm not going to say that they will not occur. And
Right.
to wait on a spontaneous act where you both are on the same page and the sun is shining just right and the kids are completely away, like that's like living in a fantasy world. In
Right.
reality, you need to schedule your sex.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Schedule
I
it.
definitely agree. You better get up a half hour early in the morning.
Make an agreement. Make an
Yeah,
agreement if it's important to you. And guess what? The sex does not even have to be penetration every time. It
right,
could be just, it could be foreplay stuff too. You could massage each other up in the morning. Like if you get up at the same time in the morning to go to work, you can give each other a massage before you go to work. Like I used to do this with my partner. And I do this to myself every morning. Like I put lotion and oil on my body, give myself a little
hmm,
massage before going in. Now imagine doing that with your partner.
right,
You're taking turns rubbing lotion on each other and like having a conversation while you're doing that and just tapping on each other and kissing on each other and stuff. Boom.
right,
That is something that will keep it spicy because
right,
that's sexual. Yes, it's just not penetrative sex. It's outer
right.
course. You know what I mean? And so we call that foreplay as well.
Yeah,
So here we are. Like you can literally just put in little moments where you can have intimate and sexual experiences. And then when it comes to penetrative sex, you can totally plan out, your sex night.
yeah.
So that way, that's on your calendar. And if you got to get babysitters or, whatever kind of arrangements you have to make in order to like really let yourself be free and let go, you schedule it, then you can plan it all out and it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, I think that people that have kids need to have a schedule. It might not be perfect, it might not always work, but you need to. If you're listening, people with small children, you need to make this a priority in your life, just like you schedule other things. You have to schedule your intimacy time, and intimacy could look different for a lot of different people, but you have to make it a priority and not make it something that you fit in wherever you can get it because it might not just come in that quickly. All right, I got one more question for you. We'll talk about it and then I'm gonna let you go. How to suck dick like a boss.
How to suck it like a boss. First of all,
Yes,
you have to like dick. Like, and when I say like dick, I know that okay, the appearance, the shape, the smell, and the person. Like the person that the dick is attached to. I mean, it's really important to have an attraction, but also like an actual desire to suck dick. Not
right.
to please this other person, not to try to like be accepted, like actually enjoy sucking dick. So you can't teach that. But
Yeah, people need to be honest with themselves. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You need to say that because we're gonna
if it's
the
not for
person's gonna
you,
know.
if it's
They're
not for
gonna
you,
know.
you don't have to do it. I always say just because it's an option doesn't mean it's an option for you. I think in these days and times, we're such a sexualized society that people think they gotta be the ultimate freak. They gotta like all the things. No, you don't. You don't have to like sucking dick. And if dick sucking is for you, this is how you do it like a boss. Number one, like make sure you have the things that you need to keep your throat moist and any things that you need to keep your hair out of the
Wait,
way. So like the
wait,
hair
Tyomi, I'm
sponge,
writing this down. What things I need to keep my throat moist?
water, of course.
Okay,
Like
I can do that.
a good dick sucker will have a water bottle on deck.
All right, got that.
Rinse your mouth before Listerine, or if you don't have Listerine, get those little Listerine strips, or you can get some Altoids. Swish around the water, you should be good. So you can either rinse your mouth and it's going to help produce saliva, or you can eat a sour piece of candy before. That works as well.
Hmm.
Use both hands and mouth. All right. It is a myth that if you use your hands, you're not good at sucking dick. Listen, using your hands is God's gift, especially if He has a lot of dick. All right. If He has a lot of dick and your mouth is a little smaller than what can accommodate, you gotta use your hands. And even if it can fit, using your hands is great because the head is friction sensitive, the shaft is pressure sensitive. So if you're adding pressure with your hands while your mouth is applying friction and doing all the things to
Trouble.
the head, you got two different types of stimulation going on. That is a full on experience. And don't forget the balls. All right. You can just use your hands to kind of cup and caress as you're using one hand to stroke and you use your mouth to do the thing. So you got like three things going on at once. Or you can put them in your mouth, just swish them around a little bit. You can use your tongue to like trace around the bag and like a little infinity symbol, like forever my ball sack.
I'm gonna do
And
that.
you could teabag, you know what I mean? But also going down with like just adoration and appreciation. There's a difference between just sucking dick to try to get him off and sucking dick in a form as a form of appreciation, or I should say, it's to suck to get them off. Um, Sucking dick is a form of appreciation and really just showing gratitude with your mouth. It's like worship. It's like
Yeah.
lingam worship. So
Yeah.
treat it as such. Like you have the privilege to rock the mic, bless this person with you know bless this person with the gift of your mouth. And you think
Right.
about it too, like their root chakra and your throat chakra are connected. So you get to communicate directly into this person's pelvis.
Right.
So,
I never thought about it like that, but you're right.
cause okay, I when I suck dick, I do some energy work at the same time. Like I'm
Hmm.
literally exchanging good positive energy, like a loving energy, into his lingam with my mouth, like, and in the way that my body relaxes and the way that my mouth and jaw, I guess, feels when I
Hmm.
start to do this exchange, it just feels really amazing. It feels really amazing. And they can feel the love and the appreciation. I'm like, wow, it's like you're sucking my dick like you love me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
actually am.
Yeah.
So, and you can make it nasty doing that too,
Right.
because you know, the theatrics, the saliva and the sounds and all of that,
Hmm.
that's always an extra added bonus.
The
So
cherry on top.
do it, do it with appreciation. Use various hand strokes and techniques. Like play around with it. And if you watch how he strokes his dick, you can see exactly the spot. Yeah, he has like a hot spot and a
Hmm.
stroke. That hot spot and stroke combo will show you what area to focus on to get him off. But also
Right.
like listen. So sometimes guys can be very vocal. Sometimes they be a little quiet. Now, if they're quiet, you have to pay attention more so to body language
Right.
than trying to like listen out for verbal cues. In body language, if he's like where they are moving their hips more towards your mouth, it's like, oh, they want to go deeper. They want to feel more. You know what I mean? If you start to feel like toes curling or legs kind of like shaking,
Hmm.
it's feeling good. Sometimes people like to be silent and focus on
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
building up the orgasmic energy. You know what I mean? I personally enjoy a partner that is vocal,
Right.
that will let me know what's up, that be like, yeah, suck that dick, and all the things in
Yeah.
between, under and above it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm cool with reading body language too. I just know I love being gassed up. Like,
Me too. That just
fill me
makes it all
up.
the more fun. Let me know how I'm doing. I want to know.
Exactly. And be confident, like even if you like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do to this, but I'm just gonna go at it, go down, and just start like tracing it with your tongue and your mouth with air and also with the inside of your lips.
Mm-hmm.
And then, one thing you can do is take your tongue and just lick from the bottom up. And when you do that, if you're not in a weird position where you're going to be looking crazy, you can make eye contact. So make sure it's not in a position where you're going to like hyperextend your eye, try to look at your partner. You're going to be like, you look like a zombie. Stop it.
Oh, I'm trying not to laugh.
Right,
But that's good.
exactly. But like at least like make eye contact after you do a certain move just to see how engaged they are. I love when
Right.
I do a combo and then I make the eye contact and their face are just stuck like, oh my fucking God. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, got your
I
So
love it. I love it.
make it
So,
fun.
Tyomi, where can everybody find you? How do we take these classes?
Come through to my Instagram page at Real Glamazon Tyomi. And right now, I am working on uploading my first courses on my new course website, thepleasureacademy.com. You can find me there and sign up for alerts when we go live. And you can also take my cowgirl workout and take the cowgirl masterclass at members.thecowgirlworkout.com. Like I said, we work out Tuesday through Saturday. Each day features something different. All the workouts shift and change every week. I'm going to be hiring some other instructors soon because we are expanding.
Yay!
And we have, women from all over the world, not just Black women, like women from all over. And it's so beautiful to be a part of a sisterhood where everyone's like encouraging each other and sharing their wins. It's just a really great place to be. So join us over there. Follow me on YouTube. And my channel's name is Glam Erotica 101. And check me out at glamerotica101.com. And if you happen to be on Twitter, at Glamazon Tyomi is my name there. You can put Tyomi inside of Google. You can find all of my pages and all of my
Mhm.
stuff.
Thank you so much, Tyomi, for joining me. Thank you for dropping some gems on us. I think that everybody got a little sprinkle and a little taste of everything, and they can come find you. I'm definitely gonna go look up your classes on YouTube in a minute.
Yeah. Have
'Cause I'm like, wait,
fun.
yeah, I want to go. I want to go do my research and definitely learn more about myself, and then be better and just be better. So and I love learning from people like me that talk like me and understand who I am. So I think you do an amazing job at that. So thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much
you.
for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. We will talk again soon, and I'm gonna have you back soon so we can kick it again on some, a little bit more talk. We got to go into the we got to go into the topics for the men. We got to go talk it. We got to go into the BDSM. We got to get into
Oh,
those things.
yeah. Gotta
But
get some kink.
yeah,
Gotta get into kink.
yeah, we definitely got to go into that. But I would love to have you back sometime. So we'll figure that out. But thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
Oh, you're welcome.